Weather permitting. Yeah, Thank you.
I mean, I don't know how that
Good evening. We'll call the January meeting of the Health and Human Services Committee to order. Is there anybody from the public that would wish to address the committee? Are there any additions, deletions, corrections to the minutes from the previous committee meeting? All right, seeing none, we'll go into resolutions.
First resolution this evening is reappointing members to the Community Services Board.
May I have a motion? Mr. Dozo, second Mr. Ferris. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries.
Next is amending the 2017 county budget relative to Veterans Peer Support Pilot Program.
Motion? Mrs. Fitzpatrick, Mr. Ferris. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries.
Third resolution this evening is accepting funding in connection with public health rabies control activities and amending the 2017 county budget in relation thereto.
May I have a motion? Mr. Ferris, second. Mrs. Fitzpatrick. Any discussion? If I may ask a question of our department head, as the last couple of years we'd seen a dramatic uptick in rabies, and have we seen kind of the same trend, or are we finally starting to head back down?
Right now, even though our weather pattern is very similar to last year, we're not having the skunk activity that we had last year. We did have a positive cat, but I'm hoping that the activity that we did with the bait drops and everything we did last year has either slowed the progression of rabies, or it's still going to come, which we're hoping not, but we have no way of knowing at this point.
You still having good response from people in the community coming into the clinics to get their
Yes.
animals vaccinated?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any other discussion on the resolution? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Next resolution is amending the 2017 county budget to reappropriate lead poisoning prevention program funding.
Motion, please. Mr. Doldo, Mrs. Fitzpatrick. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Last resolution this evening is accepting donation on behalf of the Department of Social Services and amending the 2017 county budget.
Motion, please. Mr. Ferris, second. Mr. Maxson. Any discussion? Mr. Maxson.
Yes. A business. Which business has so generously donated their money to our DSS?
Offhand, I'm not sure who the business is. I don't know offhand. Yeah. We will find that out and confirm.
Do we?
You know? I don't know. Is it Bernier Car? Bernier Car?
Is it? I guess I know I've seen this many times over the years that we receive donations from
We do.
various organizations. Is it typical protocol that they remain anonymous, or that we do
Just the way the resolution
tend to
is
know?
probably put together would be my guess. I don't think there's any particular reason one way or the other. But you're correct. We have seen each year about this time a couple different private businesses step forward because they have in the fall a kind of congratulatory dinner, and I don't know that in the past several years it's been an extensive all to the county because of the donations.
Mm-hmm.
All good.
Mm-hmm. Very appreciative to the various generous donors out of our community, because this isn't the only program that does receive donations. Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carries. Well, we have an assortment of departmental reports here. Any questions on any of the departmental reports? Is there anything else from the members of the committee to come forward tonight? I've heard they get shorter and shorter, you know. One quick update of things that I will offer to the committee is that the DSS Ad Hoc Committee had met last week. I think we're getting into the final stages of preparing a report to be able to offer to the committee members with some of the recommendations. A couple of changes that have happened within DSS were actually done within the last budget cycle, so it'll just be reflected within the report. Essentially, the movement of a staff member to be able to beef up the fraud detection unit and expanding fraud detection into a different timeline within somebody's opened application to be able to have that extra investigation to make sure that they're truly eligible for the reception of benefits. And then there will be a couple of other things in there. So I think one of the the most dramatic things that we certainly learned about this is the overwhelming cost and the lack of ability to be able to control costs outside of your own ability to control staffing levels. And that's one component that we are looking into is the efficiency of our resources within our staffing. But I think if, as Mr. Johnson, who was on the committee, astutely pointed out, as far as the programming goes, the major cost and the biggest program that costs us the most is within Medicaid, which runs between $16 to $19 million annually. And that's something that's absolutely out of our control. And even last year, the governor and Department of Health expanded some programs within Medicaid as far as covering certain medical practices. So as far as a way to control costs within that department, we're very limited and very subject to the whims of other departments above us. Is that a pretty good synopsis, Mr. Administrator?
Good job.
Okay. So if there isn't anything else, we will be coming out with a report very soon. And anything else further from the committee? Motion to adjourn? Ms. Fitzpatrick, Mr. Doldo, all in favor? Carries, we're adjourned.
Calling to order the January Finance and Rules Standing Committee meeting. I'd like to point out that the Health and Human Services packet has a lot more good stuff to read than the Finance and Rules. Just pointing it out. But we do have a significant amount of business, so is there anyone from the public that would care to speak to the committee? Seeing no one coming to the microphone, I guess we'll move on to the minutes from the last meeting. Any changes, deletions, corrections? Hearing none, they'll stand as presented. Moving on to Finance and Rules resolutions.
First resolution this evening is payment of legislator expenses.
May I have a motion, please? Legislator McBride, Legislator Johnson. Discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Next resolution is appointing member to Soil and Water Conservation District Board of Directors.
May I have a motion, please? Legislator Navalonic, Legislator Fitzpatrick. Discussion on the motion? Legislator Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Monticelli. Just wish to convey this was a high recommendation from the Soil and Water Board. Mike Keachel is a dairy farmer over in Philadelphia on Garden of Eden Road, former president of the Jefferson County Farm Bureau. So he comes to the organization with a lot of experience. He has spoken to this board on occasion before on issues. So I just wish to offer a bit of recommendation for him to the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Legislator Peck. I'd also like to point out in the letter recommending Mr. Keachel, the Executive Director of the Soil and Water, Ms. Christine Watkins, thanked our Administrator Hageman specifically for seeing that Legislator Peck and myself were reappointed. Just thought I'd... Okay, we had a motion, we had discussion. I guess we're ready to vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. There is one other resolution that's not in the original packet, but it was on your desk in front of you, and I would ask to have a motion on that resolution. Legislator Navalonic. A second. Legislator Johnson. Discussion on this motion.
Which is canceling delinquent real property taxes and prospectively exempting from real property taxes certain parcels of property.
Got to stop having so much fun. Okay, so discussion on this motion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, moving on to the resolutions from General Services.
First one this evening is authorizing agreement and amending the 2017 county budget in relation to the fiscal year 2016-17 State Public Safety Answering Points Sustainment Grant.
Motion, please. Legislator McBride, Legislator Johnson. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Next, reappropriating funds from various unspent grants relative to the Fire and Emergency Management Department and amending the 2017 county budget in relation thereto.
Motion, please. Legislator Johnson. Legislator Fitzpatrick. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Authorizing agreement in connection with the New York State Snowmobile Trails Grant Aid Program and amending the 2017 budget in relation thereto.
Motion, please. Legislator McBride, Legislator Nabawanek. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Amending the 2017 county budget relative to overtime reimbursement for the Sheriff's Department.
Motion, please. Legislator Nabawanek. Legislator Johnson, thank you. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Next one is authorizing fiscal year 2016 Operation Stone Garden Grant Amendment and amending the 2017 budget in relation thereto.
A motion, please. Legislator Fitzpatrick. Legislator McBride. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. On to Health and Human Services Committee-sponsored resolutions.
First resolution is amending the 2017 county budget relative to Veterans Peer Support Pilot Program.
Motion, please. Legislator Johnson. Legislator McBride. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Accepting funding in connection with public health rabies control activities and amending the 2017 county budget in relation thereto.
Motion, please. Legislator Fitzpatrick, Legislator Nabawanek. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Next, amending the 2017 county budget to reappropriate lead poisoning prevention program funding.
Motion, please. Legislator Nabawanek and Legislator McBride. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Final resolution is accepting donation on behalf of the Department of Social Services and amending the 2017 county budget for Bernier Car.
Motion, please. Legislator McBride, Legislator Johnson. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. At this time, I'd just like to point out that there are a couple of reports, informational reports in this packet, way fewer than with Health and Human Services, thinner. Onward to an executive session. I guess I need a motion to go into an executive session. Legislator Nabawanek, Legislator Johnson. The purpose of the executive session is to discuss an employee's salary and labor negotiations. We're in executive session. No. Sorry. Oh, yeah, yes. All in favor? I'm sorry, did I not ask for that? Well, you're hearing it now. All in favor? Okay, opposed? Thank you.